The Chord Whisperer.
So the hints to the idea of kind of of consonance and dissonance, right?
Suspense and release.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you had no concept of music and you're living in a tribe or like back in history or whatever it was, let's assume that you're singing and that is your way of making music. Then if someone else sings the same note as you, your ear very quickly recognizes that it's the same note. Like exactly the same note.
Yeah.
And so if you sing that same tune together, you're singing in consonance. There's nothing discordant. It couldn't possibly be because you're singing the same thing. And then there's the whole Pythagorean mathematical relationship between, well, if someone sings an octave above you, it still sounds very, very consonant because that top note is twice the frequency of the bottom note.
Yes.
And our ears instantly lock onto that relationship.
Yeah. Symbiotic.
And spot it. Even if you didn't play the note at the same time, so even if the waveforms didn't start at the same time, we still hear that relationship. And then the next most consonant, the nicest sounding interval is the fifth.
My favourite, I have to say.
Well, isn't it everybody's favourite?
Yeah. Harmonics line up, clean and pure.
John
simple.
Williams' favourite?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just
Copeland. Et al.
And that is the bottom and the top of our chord, the fifth.
Yeah. And then I suppose it depends on how we feel
well, it does,
on any particular day and as to how we fill the chord.
How we fill it, because thirds, although we are so used to hearing them, they're not very consonant sounds mathematically. They don't have a very tight relationship with these notes to each other. It's actually quite dissonant. And for musical cultures that don't have thirds, major thirds and minor thirds, they find that quite an uncomfortable relationship. So there's where I think it must be something to do with how our ears have been trained from like the Renaissance.
Yes.
When they started filling in.
So it's
harmony.
It's a preconception of sorts. We have evolved to preconceive the idea of harmony, right?
I think so. Yeah. And
like
now
that.
it's so ingrained.
I'm going to go with that one.
that we can't escape it in our Western culture.
For sure.
In other cultures
Yeah.
and other musical cultures, none of that would make any sense at all. It's just complete nonsense, because what do we really have? We have a whole bunch of frequencies that you can split up in as many ways as you want, or not. And you can call them different things. Yeah. Those fundamental relationships of octaves and unisons are still there, but they dissolve into pure aesthetics after a while, really. And it's just, well, what sounds nice?
Yes.
So,
this is the most important thing.
Yeah, what sounds nice?
What sounds good?
You don't want to listen to music that doesn't sound nice.
What sounds pleasing?
Yeah, what is pleasing?
Even discordant harmonies.
Well, this is
most often discordant harmonies.
Well, the
actually
more music you
pleasing.
listen to, the more you want to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
I guess like the same with any art forms. Like no one's first work of art would be a conceptual piece and stand there going, "Oh, I love this," because you have to have the whole framework of the history of art, not the whole framework, but a lot of the framework, to put that into and compare it to.
Yeah.
So that's why people physically couldn't write down discordant music that we now hear 200 years ago, because it just wouldn't make any sense.
So do you think for you to write that kind of harmony, you have to understand or be embedded in the history of it?
So we've invented now machines like this
chromatic
one
system
that do it for us.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think you have to have that understanding. A monkey. If you drop a hammer on the, I'm going to do it. But if you drop something on the piano, it might well make a nice sound.
Yeah,
so the hammer is not aware of the history of music. It's just we've invented a thing that makes that quite easy for us.
Of course.
Like a harmonica. You blow it to a harmonica, it makes a sound that we know and we like.
Pleasing. So can you give us an idea of why harmony evolved?
Why harmony evolved?
Why did we put one note on top of another?
So you're in your, I hesitate to say tribe, but I'm going to say tribe.
Okay.
and we're going to base it somewhere in history rather than somewhere now.
Yeah.
And I'm singing a tune, and I sing the same damn tune every day, and it drives you nuts. You can't get it out of your head, so you start singing along with me and singing the same. And then let's say the tune is, or something like that, and you'll sing along with me, and we'll just go like round and round, drive each other mad. And then one time you just realise that if you're up there, it just does something weird.
Yeah.
Nice. Then the third, and then we're in our little choir, our choir that we've set up. We compose a load of tunes, and they're all a fifth apart. And then you realise that you can sing anywhere, or you can sing in counterpoint to it. And it's like, ooh.
And this again, does this go back to the human scale of all of this? Does it make us feel better? Does it make us feel good? Does it give us some sort of cathartic reason?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
So here's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So just recently in a cave somewhere in northern France, they found a chamber in a system of caves. And in the chamber, they found basic instruments, very basic. And these have been carbon dated back to 40,000 years. And one of the instruments is something that would have been put on a piece of string or a rope attached to the end of the rope and hurled above your head round and round and round.
Yeah.
It makes the most pleasing sound. Also, in this little cave, they found little whistles carved out of bone, this and that, usual thing. But the most unusual thing was when the acousticians went in to test the cave, they found that where these instruments had been placed was the most the cave where they would sing, shout, bash things, whatever they were doing in there, turned out to be the most acoustically pleasing and resonant space for what they were doing. So they knew. And it was pleasing.
Is that surprising? Or? No, it's not.
No.
Because people sitting in a pub drinking beer, blowing on a beer bottle, make a noise. It's like the childlike delight that inspires people. It's just, anything that vibrates makes a sound, a pitch, and so I can totally imagine some kind of weapon, the hip bone on the liana or something
that made this.
One day someone's just like, what the hell's that?
Yeah.
And then sure, you take it back to your cave, you show your mates, and then one day you come back with the one that is the resonant frequency of the cave.
That's it.
Suddenly you're just like, what?
Yeah.
What just happened?
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
A trip and a half.
Like if you ever sing in the shower or in the loo, which I'm sure most people do.
Yeah.
Just sometimes you hit a note and just the whole room just goes.
Yeah.
Like whoa.
And the room will have a temperance for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Note.
So the same for their cave and their instruments. Of course they would be more drawn to the instruments that seem to make the cave sing.
So what is it that we call this? It's a bloom, isn't it? A room has a bloom.
A bloom in a room.
Yeah, a bloom in a room.
And then you get that with instruments, and most of the time it's a complete pain.
Yeah.
Like on a violin, you get a particular note that just makes the whole violin just go. Ugh.